one thing we experience in legal, a lot of the second guessing, right? Why didn't I see it? Why didn't I see the signs? Why didn't we get this person some help? I mean, is that common? And is there some common signs that our employees can look for and know, at least to start? And what I learned from that as well is the questions you ask. It's how you ask it, not just say, hey, how are you doing? That's not going to do it. That's not enough, right? That's not going to solicit the response you want. You're like, really, how are you feeling? How are you doing in all this stuff with all the stresses at home? I know you got kids at home. I know work. I mean, tell me, how are you? That type of stuff. Does that help, or what do you think to help people recognize this in coworkers?
That's a great starting point. Just being open to having the conversation, and also what we help people think about is, while we know some depression, some anxiety, some irritability, and mood instability is certainly normal in our adult lives, but when it starts to impact your daily ability to perform your life duties, whether that's as a caregiver, as a professional, as an employee, as a supervisor, your ability to drive on the highway, when your life circumstances begin to be impacted because of your depression, mood instability, sleep, fill in the blank, that's when we really start to look at treatment options.
Yeah, and I think those are all the right signs to look for. And I think about how to have that conversation. I love the fact that you're starting this conversation as a company. And I think it's up to individuals to carry on that conversation. And we talk a lot to managers. They're often the key frontline gatekeepers for how are our employees doing. And we encourage, especially now, managers to spend 5 or 10 minutes at the start of every one-on-one check-in and just ask, how are you doing? And when somebody says fine, say, no, really, how are you doing? Here's what I'm seeing. Are you sleeping okay? Are you eating? I'm noticing these things that make me concerned. And I think often we don't have that conversation because we don't know what to do if somebody answers that question and we don't know what to do with the information. I'm really struggling. What as a manager, it's a scary thing to have to respond to. So helping managers, helping us all know what are the resources available, what are the right ways to be empathic, because all somebody's often looking for is just somebody to hear, and then to know, oh, you're going to help connect me to the right help that I need.
Great points. We'll get to the resource available later, but I like that segue. But Mary Beth, I'll get you involved here. I mean, what are your thoughts about signs, et cetera? I tell you, Supportlinc was instrumental in the legal department getting through our ordeal last year. I mean, your counseling that you provided on a group basis and one-on-one was incredible. So just what are your thoughts on it?
Here. Yeah, what David really described is actually a training that we offer on mental health first aid, which I think that it can really help managers feel more prepared to have those conversations, starting with identifying the signs that symptoms like irritability or missing work or being late or having problems making decisions, not being able to concentrate. Those can all be signs that somebody's struggling with a mental health concern, and taking the time to have that conversation, to ask, how are you really doing? And if you get a shrugged off, I'm fine answer, but you suspect something's going on, sharing with that employee what you've noticed and what you've seen, and assuring that you're there to listen and help. And we'll get to the resources later today, but I think it's so important as part of that conversation to help that person come up with the next step to reach out for support.
Great. No, absolutely. Thank you, Mary Beth.